Jump scares. We got 5 of them. Let's talk about it. Darren, jump scares, if you've been watching horror movies for a long time, or just any movies in general for a long time, there are some jump scares that just catch you off guard. But I think you and I, being the horror fans that we are, it takes a lot for us to jump.
Yeah, I think after, 4 or 5 decades of watching horror films, then it is going to take a lot to make you jump. But it's
it'd be more personal to you.
Yeah, it still does happen, though. But a lot of these are kind of subjective because they're sort of things that are personal to you sometimes and where you were and whether you're watching it in a cinema or whether you were watching it at home. I remember watching Blair Witch in the cinema and it had absolutely no effect on me whatsoever. But then I watched it at home on a VHS. And because of the way it was filmed, it was kind of made for that sort of format, I think. And the effect that it had on me afterwards, I was a gibbering wreck. It really did get to me, did the film. So we thought we'd put these 5 each together and just talk about what some of our personal favorite jump scares are.
Are you constantly thinking about these jump scares? I mean, not like constantly thinking about them, but they all of a sudden, you watch a flick and you watch a horror movie. I know for me personally, if I see a jump scare, I automatically think of the ones that scared me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the jump scares on our list, I hope Darren doesn't have them, are not like, from She's Having a Baby when Kevin Bacon finds out she's pregnant, or 3 Men and a Baby when the kid's just left here by the door. You're like, nothing like that. I don't think anything dealing with, pregnancy find outs or like,
no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Not the Crying Game or anything like that. It's kind
or skin with the guy has elephantitis.
Oh,
you're just like,
no, these are all kind of personal to each. I don't even know what Frank's are. So
I don't know what Darren's is either. Okay. So Darren, you're number 5.
Okay, number 5 is Robbie Freeling in Poltergeist, who's got a little problem with this clown that sits at the end of his bed. And he's in bed one night, and the Spielberg sets the atmosphere really well. There's kind of like, it's raining, it's lightning, the reflection of the tree outside you can see in the room. He's pretty spooked out, and so he decides to cover up the clown that's sat at the end of the bed as kind of...
Which Sean Clark has.
He does. He's got one of them. There's another couple of them, I think, that are in existence, aren't there?
I'm sending you one, Darren, so be on the lookout for it.
Fair enough. Brilliant. And so he covers up the clown, and then when he looks again, the thing's missing. It's just gone from the end of the bed. And this is a PG-rated movie, for God's sake. He then, looks under the bed, and as he gets back up, the thing starts to throttle him. And it's a great jump scare that Spielberg cooks up here for this PG movie. I can't stop saying that because it's just unbelievable that this is a PG. Even the guy when he peels his face off as well, which is just incredible. But yeah, Robbie Freeling and the clown in Poltergeist is one of my favorite jump scares of all time.
I would have picked that because it did jump scare me when I was a kid until Scary Movie 2 came.
Oh, really? What was the issue there?
Because Ray saw the clown. The clown pulled him underneath the bed, and you hear the clown say, wait a minute. What are you doing? He goes, I got a balloon animal for you. And the clown starts crawling out. And Ray does something to him where the clown goes, no.
I'm going to check that out because I must admit, at the time when those scary movie films were coming out, I weren't interested at all.
No, because they start ruining all the good horror movies.
Yeah.
Except for Scream. Yeah, they can touch that up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put a movie out there, and I'm going to let you know. Let me know if you've seen it. It's with Alan Arkin.
Okay.
And Audrey Hepburn, and it's called Wait Until Dark. And it deals with a blind woman who has drugs unknowingly to her. And these people are trying to get the drugs from this woman who's completely blind. And Alan Arkin is trying to get to him. and she stabs him in the back.
Oh, wow.
And from the side, in Exorcist 3, remember the scissors, the head shears, just come out of the side? Alan Arkin leaps for her. It's absolutely upsetting.
Oh, wow.
And everyone can see
this film.
Oh, it's great. It's like Hitchcockian.
Have you guys heard of this? Anybody?
Wait Until Dark.
Yeah, if anybody else has heard of this, comment below because this sounds interesting.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it, it's called The Leap. They officially called it The Leap.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Wait Until Dark. Alan Arkin, The Leap, leaping from the left side of the screen behind a wall to Audrey Hepburn, where you thought he was dead.
Okay. All right. I'm going to check that out. I'll have to check that out to put the clip in. But yeah, it sounds interesting. Sounds interesting.
You're number 4.
Okay. My next one is McCready doing the blood test in the Thing. Gets everyone every time. Fantastic. Which character is it now whose blood goes? Windows. Yeah.
Shades Lounge?
Yeah. Test Windows blood, and I think it's Windows. Is it Windows? Yeah. And everything just freaks out, and yeah, great old jump scare. Even though it's a little squeaky noise that happens, it still gets you because Carpenter's just created this entire sequence that's just thriving on tension and paranoia and what might happen. And it takes a while to get to it, but when that jump scare comes, it's hits you in the chest, and then what follows is just kind of gross out.
Get away from me!
I agree with you. We don't need to be talking about The Thing. We talked about it to death, but it's one of those. Yeah. It has plenty of jump scares. Also, the chest scene.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's.
There's plenty of jump scares and thing.
Yeah.
But if whatever that does for you, it's okay. Okay. My number 4 is from one of my favorite black and white movies of all time. The one I always say I wish I had the poster of, and it's 1959's House on Haunted Hill. And that's the old lady in the room as Nora is hitting the side, making sure that they could see if they can find a secret passage. And she turns, and there's this old lady sitting there. The music gets really high, and she's ugly, and she's blind, and she just right across out of the room. Oh my God, Darren, when I saw this, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified that some guy fucks her.
Really? In that 1959 film?
Because there is the caretakers. They say that guy is his wife. She's blind. Vincent Price says that. And I couldn't believe that lady was married. I thought she was one of the ghosts, but she's... and she just floats right out. Oh, my God. It still jumps me.
Scare, though, or does it make you jump?
It does, because she turns and says, "There's nothing here." Turns and...
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
Right there.
This
makes me jump.
A movie that I haven't seen. I saw it on TV years and years ago, one afternoon, and I haven't seen it since. Another film I'm going to have to check out again. But yeah, good shout.
Number 3.
So number 3 is the dream within a dream trope, which has been done a number of times, but I think the first time that I saw it was in American Werewolf in London, and that's the moment where David's in hospital and he dreams about his family being murdered back home. And he's part of that massacre. And when he wakes up, he screams and says, "I've had a nightmare."
Hello? Have you been up long?
I've just had a nightmare.
And she says, "Oh, it's okay, let me let some fresh air in," or something along those lines. And as she opens the curtains, one of the guys from his dream, one of the dogs, one of the, what do they call them now? The sort of
demon soldiers or
Nazi
something.
pigs or something like that, aren't they? Yeah. One comes through the window and just knifes her to death in front of him. And then he wakes up again.
Holy shit.
So it's this kind of whole dream within a dream sequence, which has a great jump scare in there. So yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
It's a brutal scene for Jenny, isn't it?
It is. It's really brutal.
Has
really
she talked about that scene?
I don't know. I don't know if she talks much about American Werewolf
Because this
London at all, really.
it's one of the movies we know her for. Okay, jump scare for me, number 3. The one that I went like, "Ooh," for me. If I told you Sixth Sense, M. Night Shyamalan's Sixth Sense, what do you think about when the boy shows the back of his head after the kid ghost, the back of his head's blown out because he says, "Let me show you where my dad keeps his gun."
Yeah.
He turned around and you're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, no, I remember. It's a nasty old scene, isn't it? And probably one of the reasons why it got the rating that it did, because there's not much else in the film, is there really?
The girl who comes in the tent throws up. I mean, that's kind of a weird scene.
Yeah. But no, I know exactly which sequence you mean, and that's quite nasty. Yeah. Whether it made me jump or not, I can't remember. But if it did it for you, then great.
Hey, come on. I'll show you where my dad keeps his gun. Come on.
It made you laugh.
It made me horny.
That's a big hole to fill. Okay, you're number 2.
My number 2 is The Fog, and it's when Atkins and Jamie Lee Curtis go out looking for the seagrass, the fishing boat, when they discover the boat's empty inside and it feels like the boat's been underwater for a long time, and they've been a victim of the clipper ship with the pirates on it and everything. The lepers that have come on board and killed. There's a fog bank out there. What's his name? I can't remember. Buck Flowers and team. There's a character called Dick Baxter who has both his eyes punched out with some sort of spike that the pirate's carrying, and he's been stashed up in a cupboard. And it's that kind of Carpenter moment where he sort of lures you into a false sense of security. You think that the jump's happened, and then he hits you again. Bang.
It was gone.
I think I'll go to Vancouver now.
So something falls out the cupboard initially, and then eventually the body falls out the cupboard and lands on Jamie Lee Curtis. And as a kid watching that, when I first saw it, it absolutely scared the living shit out of me. It really did.
Awesome. Yeah, that whole thing too about seeing the what's the name of the ship?
Elizabeth Dane.
Elizabeth Dane.
Yeah.
When seeing that for the first time, that was to me that was like that was awe. That was awing. And then seeing what they look like when Stevie Wayne kicks one, and you can see the reflection from the lighthouse light.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie.
It is superb. Absolutely superb.
Because I think you say your the thing and the fog for you can switch now and then.
Oh yeah. For me,
all the time.
Well, no, even Halloween. Some days I can wake up and think The Fog is a better movie than Halloween. I really do. I think it's quite unique. I don't think there's many sort of ghost story movies like this around. And the score's fantastic. It looks amazing. It was a real treat. You and I went to the church. We weren't
going to take the 10-hour drive to go to the lighthouse, were we?
Sierra Madre, when we were there, we got back in the car and Frank went, right, should we go to the lighthouse? And I went, yeah, sure.
A few blocks.
What was it? 9-hour drive or something?
It was a 10-hour drive. You're like, fuck that.
So we went
3-hour flight.
We went to Denny's. No, what was it? Yeah. Pancake World or whatever it was called.
Pancake World.
IHOP.
Pancake World. Come on, kids. The flapjacks just got on the table. Okay, my number 2. See if you agree with me. Lawnmower scene in Sinister.
Oh, yeah. Nasty.
Do you remember watching that for the first time?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's a scream, isn't it? Isn't there a scream? And then all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. But there's a similar one in one of the sleepaway camp movies as well, isn't there?
Yeah, comic relief. Because this one, you just see a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Right. You're not thinking anything of it. You think maybe a ghost is pushing it or something if you're following the story. But whoever thought someone's head was there with a bag up above the ground and then a scream.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the hell?
Horrible stuff. Horrible stuff.
Darren, before we get to our number one, do you have any honorable mentions?
I do. I have just the one.
Okay, so do I. So go ahead with your honorable.
So my honorable is Ben Gardner's head in Jaws. Awesome jump scare.
Classic.
And again, as a kid, just seeing that and not having ever experienced anything like... I've not ever experienced anything like Jaws before, let alone the head falling out of the boat when Hooper goes down there. But timing is awesome. The fact that it was a reshoot that Spielberg did in his swimming pool, the whole story behind it and everything is just fantastic. And it really does... Anyone who sees that for the first time, it gets them. And that's the beauty of that sequence, is that jump scare doesn't age. It's not something that you're waiting for. It's not something that you're expecting. It just hits you because, you're thinking about a shark. You're not thinking about a head. And
at night.
And at night as well, yeah. So, no, awesome moment and something that, as I said, everybody that experiences Jaws, that moment gets them.
I agree with you. It was going to be one of my honorable mentions. I'm glad you put it in there. You like swimming, of course. You'll go to the beach. You live next to the beach, so if you don't like the water, why are you living there anyway? But night swimming, is that something you do at all?
No, I would go swimming in down here.
Or anywhere at night, right? You'd just be like, oh, I don't know what's beneath me. I don't know what's beneath me in the daytime.
Have you seen British coastal waters?
Oh yeah, it's like the Atlantic Sea over here.
It's like
slack water.
Yeah, you'd be better off taking a dunk in your own carsy than going out in.
Oh, at least the Jersey Shore has needles flowing up now and then, and Axe body spray, the sheen of the gel from the hair and everything.
Oh,
I can actually walk to your country just based on the sheen of Axe body spray and
that's that kind
gel.
Of sort of meaty meniscus that's floating around on top of the water.
Creep Show 2, right? Kind of thing.
Exactly, that sort of thing. Yeah.
My wife made me pick this, and she said she was interested in jump scares, and she said the one that really freaked her out was a movie with Daniel Radcliffe in it called Woman in Black.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that film last night with somebody because I hate Harry Potter, but I'm a huge Daniel Radcliffe fan. And if you haven't heard the podcast, Cunning Stunts, it's called, which is him and his stuntman.
The one who got injured.
One who got injured, and the two of them do a podcast. It's fantastic. But
there's a documentary if you guys want to watch it. It's on HBO Max. It's good.
The Boy Who Lived. Fantastic documentary and heartbreaking, really heartbreaking. But I'm a huge Daniel Radcliffe fan, and I love The Woman in Black. I think it's great.
Remember the one scene where he's looking down the hallway, sees the ghost's figure.
Yeah.
And it just screams at him down the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Darren. My wife showed me that yesterday. I was like, holy fuck, what was that? I mean, there's other jump scares in there, like, you could see the reflection in the window, or there's a boy screaming, all covered in chocolate, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which there's things that make me jump are things I want to punch. So if you're jumping at me, in the profession I am, I get a lot of things that jump at me, flying squirrels and stuff. I just want to. It's my natural defense. Deer's chasing me, and I'm just like, come near me, man. I'm gonna grab you by the antlers. I'm gonna twist your fucking neck.
Your natural reaction is just to lash out at anything that comes near you.
Well, yeah. Remember that there's a clip online, famous clip of a snowman that comes alive and the guy just fucking punches it.
We had a politician, a deputy prime minister, who got egged in the face when he was walking down the street. And he's a big, large guy, but his ninja reactions were there. He just went and hit the guy who threw the egg at him. So then it was like there was the whole debate over whether he should be fired or not.
What the hell? He got assaulted.
Exactly, and it could have been anything that was thrown at him.
Yeah.
Just
Jesus.
But he was northern anyway. He was northern.
Oh,
So
okay. We'll let it slide. Jesus,
that's the sort
Darren.
of reaction you get from a northerner.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're number one. The one that makes you jump all the time. It doesn't matter how many times you see it.
Okay, so I've talked about this a few times of late, and I'm going to finally talk about this scene. I've not touched on it really. I've said that there's a huge jump scare in When Evil Lurks. But I've refrained from talking about it. So if you don't want to know what it is and you're still to see the film, you might want to kind of skip this moment. But it's the attack on the child by that kind of huge... Is it like a bull mastiff or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a mastiff pit mix.
Yeah.
Or is it it's a Doggy Bordeaux?
Something like that.
It's a like I think it's a French mastiff. It's like a hooch from Turner and Hooch.
Yeah. And there's so much commotion going on in this particular scene that you're really not expecting it at all. And the dog just turns on the daughter all of a sudden because it kind of has a moment of possession, I guess. And the way that you can't laugh at this. Stop it! This is supposed to be serious. This is something I consider to be one of the greatest jump scares in history.
And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it could happen. As a professional that deals with this stuff, it could happen. I don't know why I laughed, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Honestly, this made me absolutely leap out of my chair and swear at the top of my voice. I've never seen anything like it. And then what ensues after that is just disgusting as well. It's horrible, the poor kid being thrown around by this dog. It's a real, I think, milestone moment in horror, because everybody that I know has seen this film talks about that moment and how they reacted to it. I haven't experienced a jump scare like this since I saw Jaws. And it takes a lot. A lot of people use music and loud noise to make people jump. This was just kind of like a pot boiling over of tension that you knew something was going to happen, but you weren't sure what, because you thought they're never going to go there. They would never go there with that, and they do. And it hits you in the chest. It's really sickening.
There's a part there that makes you kind of easy about it, if I could say something.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why that I don't feel anything for that child.
Yeah, because of what happens afterwards.
Yeah, and the reason why that child is there, because the child shouldn't be.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to give too much away, but it's kind of like reliving your most horrible moments ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I remember I told you I called you after I watched it. And I said,
you were laughing.
Yes, it does happen.
Of course it happens. But you just don't.
Usually they let go. But
yeah. I mean, the thing is with this is you don't believe they would ever show this on film. It just goes against all the rules, you know. And they do. And it's just like I say, it hits you like a train when it happens.
They did something like that in Dr. Sleep, not with a dog. I don't know if you saw Dr. Sleep, have you?
I did, yeah.
Remember the boy walking home? Tough scene.
Yeah.
Tough scene. They went there too.
We're going to cover it soon, Dr. Sleep, because we've had 3 requests from our VIP Patreons to cover this film. So we are going to cover it for one person. But yeah, it'll be interesting getting stuck into Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. It's almost like, you remember the Disney movie, The Yearling? There's a Disney movie with Gregory Peck.
Okay.
Where the boy is forced to shoot his fawn that he raised.
Right. Okay.
And it's Disney.
Yeah.
Disney don't give a shit. Kill your animals. Kill your friends. Whatever. You know, you grew up in a single parent house. Who cares? What the fuck? Okay, my number one, the one that I'm not crazy about, the one that gets me all the time. I hate it. It's the first one that made me jump ever. Going to a theater by myself, and I'm going to say The Ring, The Lady in the Closet.
I saw her face.
Okay.
It's the, you know, it's the whole, it was just a one. I did something weird there, almost like I had a stroke. You guys know what I mean.
It's the lady in the closet.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, if you're watching Family Guy, Peter does the same face when he watches the most scariest movie of all time, and it's Mannequin.
Yeah.
He's just... But yeah, it gets me all the time. Like I said, The Ring, the girl in the closet with that face, that quick, you see it. You don't want to see it, but you see it. And it's and I think it moves forward, doesn't it? It leans forward.
Yeah.
Darren, every time, man, I don't watch The Ring anymore. I don't watch it.
This is the remake of The Ring, right?
Yes.
Not Ring.
The American version. Yeah. With Natalie Watts.
No, Naomi Watts.
Natalie Portman?
Naomi Watts.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but that's my number one. The Ring.
That's it. That's our sort of 10 choices there, our top 5.
We may do jump scares that people are scared of, and we're just like, why? Could you imagine that? We don't get it.
Put your favorite jump scares down below, folks. Let us know what really kind of got you when you first saw a particular movie. They may be similar to ours, they may not be. We may have forgotten some, but yeah, stick them down below. It'd be really interesting to see what other people. I mean, like, people talk about Carrie and the ending of Carrie, but I never found that scary. No. Back in the 70s, that people were really kind of running out the aisles with it. So
and Jason coming out of the water.
I was trying to think if there was a Friday the 13th that had made me jump, and no, there wasn't.
That's it,
folks. We'll be back.
We got
soon.
more stuff. Yeah, we'll be back soon. We got more stuff coming up. Like, we got some more. Like Darren said, we're going to be doing Dr. Sleep, The Entity. We got some great movies. The Crow. I think The Crow definitely needs to be talked about. And I think, and there are fans for it. I know Chris Snyder is a big fan. Of The Crow. I think he dresses up like it now and then.
Who, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, is like Birdman.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, stick to the roads.
And the best of luck.
See you. Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.